Hi guys. So I wanted to take inspire action today. Hold on, I'm just setting up. I wanted to take inspired action today. I don't know if you guys can see me. Probably not. Let me move this back a tad bit. All right, that should be better. You should be able to see me. Okay. Okay. Let me move this out of my way. Okay, so I don't have that much time because my little baby is sleeping. I have a 4-month-old. She's asleep, and she's been asleep for a while. So we're gonna do what we can in the time that we have. Um, I'm taking Inspire Action because I had a thought earlier to go live, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go live. So today I want to talk about how language is the limit. Language is the limit, and this conversation came about because I was talking to someone and he was saying, like, imagine if we just got dropped on a planet and we didn't know anything, right? We never were taught a language. He was like, we would just look into the world and we would have no idea what we were seeing. And I was like, yeah, that's how we come into the world. Like my 4-month-old, she doesn't have a conception of like separation, right? We come into this world with the understanding of union, with the understanding of oneness. We don't know ourselves as separate at all. It's not until we get older that the program, right? We come into this world as this, and let's not even imagine that circle is there. But I just have to create a imagery for what I'm trying to say. But let's just imagine the circle is not there, and we're just like pure space. Actually, we're the board. Let's say that. We are the board. We are pure space. We don't come into this world with any understanding of being anything but pure space. And then from interacting with everybody around us, one, we learn our name. So we learn that like there's the energy here is named this. And it's very conditioned. So let's say the board gets a name. It comes into the world as pure nothing. Then it gets a name as, let's say, I don't know why, but Jeff comes to mind. Let's say Jeff. Actually, let's go with a girl name because, I mean, does it matter, masculine and feminine? Let's go Jeff. I don't really give a damn. Okay, because Jeff came to mind. So let's say we come into the world and then all of a sudden people that are all around us starts to call us Jeff. Jeff, hi Jeff, goo goo gaga, Jeff. So then all of a sudden we're like, we start to respond because there's a positive reinforcement from responding to this name or to this. To us, we don't know it's a name. So to this resonance of sound, to this vibration of sound, there is a positive reinforcement. Think of what is it, Maslow's the dog psychology, Maslow's, no, is that Maslow? I don't remember, but like the dog, the bell, the dog and the bell, right? So anyways, we start to respond. We get a positive reinforcement from responding to our names, so we respond. Do we know that's our name? No, it's just a positive reinforcement that comes, so then we start to respond. I would say right around 18 months. So Jeff is just pure space. Right around 18 months, the subconscious has been impressed. I hope you guys can see this. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Yeah, you can see this. Okay. So the subconscious has been impressed with the idea that you are a person because everybody around you is saying me, mine, and like even kids, like how when a kid is playing with a toy and then another kid come over and take the toy. No. A kid is playing with a toy, they put the toy down. And then another kid comes over and pick up a toy and the kid's like, no, that's mine. And they think that everything is theirs. That's because they're learning this idea that there is a distinction between them and their environment. So they really don't know. It's not because they're defiant. They really just think that everything is them and everything is theirs. Like the subconscious idea of other and self has not been super concrete yet. But by the time you're 18 months, that idea starts to like really get imprinted into your mind that you are other. So then before you know it, you realize They're like, oh, there's a me inside of here, and there are other people, right? So now, what Jeff was as now pure awareness has now became a body, localized, a localized self. Is this the truth? No, but now Jeff is like, oh, these are my hands. These are my feet. This is my head. It's literally just a programming. It's a oh sorry I keep hitting the mic, but it's literally just a programming. It's a um, subconscious programming that we are separate, and we've learned this from just interacting with our environment because we come in as pure awareness around 18 months. The subconscious accepts that, like, oh, there's a me here and this is my name, and then that just constantly gets reinforced. That just constantly gets reinforced, right? So then we start to learn about colors, where before, like my baby girl, when she looks into the world, she doesn't know that, like, this is red, this is white, this is gray, this is, an eraser, this is this. She doesn't view the world like that. She just views it as energy and emotion. It's like pure potentiality to her, which is why babies are so curious about their environment, because because the language, the limit has not been placed on it. But what happens is, right around 18 months, we start to learn colors. So now when I look into the world, I don't just see pure potentiality. I see red, right? I see red, I see blue, I see green. So now this is the mind. This is the mind starting to label. Where before I would just look and it would just be pure presence. Pure presence. But because I start to learn the distinctions in my reality, now I see colors, I see shapes, right? We learn about a square, rectangle, circle. I mean, that's a square, yeah. Rectangle, triangle. I said triangle, right? So now I look into my reality. I see shapes. I see colors. What is this creating? It's creating distinction in my brain. So now, and then what else am I learning? I'm learning again about my hands, head, shoulders, knees and toes, right? We're teaching how to identify these aspects of ourselves. We're giving everything a name. By giving everything a name, we're creating separation because our brains no longer see a body, right? We don't just see one individual thing. We see head, shoulders, knees and toes, right? So that's how the programming starts. There's nothing wrong with this. It allows us to interact with consciousness, right? Because as pure space, consciousness only knows itself. But then through dividing itself as, like, I'm Jeff and I'm Taylor and you're you. Now there's division, and then consciousness can start to branch out and experience different things and then relate. And then that's why differences are so important, which is why we should not all have the same beliefs, the same ideas, the same preferences, because it's cool to come back and relate and to talk about it and to, like, experience consciousness, just having a play, like it's a playground for consciousness, but we've forgotten. But this is a playground for consciousness. So inherently, there's nothing wrong with the fact that we're creating separation. I'm just breaking down that that's exactly, this is how separation came into being. We did not come in separate. We came in as a blank canvas. But then our parents started to name us. Okay, this is my name. Positive reinforcement from responding. Around 18 months, the subconscious understanding that I'm separate is evolved. I go to school, I learn language, and I learn shapes, and I learn colors, and I learn the name of things. So now a tree, don't laugh at my tree, y'all. Now a tree, before it was just a bunch of wonder. Like my daughter, she just looks at trees, and I'm just like, when I see a tree, I think tree, leaves, this. My mind just starts to label it. But to her, it's just pure energy. She probably can see it even vibrating in emotion because of how not limited she is by language. But because I'm limited by language, when I see a tree or I see anything, my mind instantly starts to label it. And now I'm like, oh, this is this and that. Where kids, they don't do that. And that's why our imagination is so heightened as children, because to us, this is a tree, and we know the functions, and we know that we need it in order to breathe. And there's nothing wrong with the knowledge. When the knowledge becomes all that we are identifying with, that's when it becomes the limit. But I mean, all language is limiting, but we can use the language, we can use the limit to create our own limitations, right? Because all beliefs are a limitation. All beliefs are a limitation. Let me see what's going on here. Nothing. Okay. 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 All right. So yes. Okay. So I don't know why I thought I could see comments on here, but I can't. That's weird. But anyways, or maybe I could set it up to do that. I don't know. But anyways, so to us, that's a tree. I think that's what I was saying. But to a kid, maybe this is like um a monster in the forest that we have to conquer and take down. You know, when you were a kid, you have a huge imagination and like, or this is my house. This is my house. And like all of these acorns down here are my children, right? Because we don't have these limits of what it is, right? It's to us, this is just wonderment. This is amazing, right? This is a tree. Let me get my drawing skills on. Y'all feel me? I should have made this brown, but this is a tree to the trained mind, to the trained mind that is a tree. Then a parent comes down and say, get out of that tree. And the kid says, I'm not in the tree. I'm in my house, with my 4 kids. You know, I had a huge imagination when I was a kid, if y'all couldn't tell. I used to have a lot of fun. I still have a lot of fun. But anyways, um, so that's what is essentially going on within our entire landscape of reality, is that language is creating the limit, which is why it's important to go beyond the language, to go beyond our mind, to go back to pure potentiality so that we can use imagination to imagine, to create our own limit, to create our own way of interacting with reality, to create our own boundaries, right? So that's just what I wanted to talk about today. I don't know. I just had like inspired action to come on here and talk about this, because language is definitely the limit. Without language, there's just pure space, pure potentiality, with no division, no separation, just pure consciousness, just pure I am energy. Oh, fuck me. Did that get on me? What the hell? All right, sorry guys. All right, let me leave this marker alone for a second, because I don't know what just happened. But there's just pure I am energy. This I am. I am taking on the form of many of everything. Then language becomes the limit, and then it limits I am. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, it allows the ego, it allows for us to have a separate experience. But now that we know this, we work with the language to create our own realities, to imagine ourselves into a new reality. We go back to the pure potentiality that we experienced as kids before we had a name, before we were taught head, shoulders, knees and toes, before we were taught squares and shapes and symbols and sounds and animal names, before all of that, right? If nobody told us a bird was a bird, we would just be like looking at it in amazement and wonderment. And then maybe we would put our own story on it, which is what cultures did all around the world, which is why there's so many stories to describe the same thing. Because we are like storytellers. The mind, when used for its best, like at its highest potential, it's the greatest storyteller, but for our benefit, because we can literally see things without interacting with them in the physical. Our mind is our greatest tool if used correctly. So that's why, again, you have stories for the same event all over the world. But now, with the age of technology, we kind of just like technol. Why can't I spell right now? Tech, whatever. I don't know why I can't spell. I know how to spell technology. Nah. Okay, whatever. I'm not even about to embarrass myself. I know how to spell it technology. I'm just having a brain slip. But anyways, so because of technology, we are kind of like taught to have this sheep mentality where we all think the same thing, where that has never been the case, because we have always been allowed to use our imaginations and to paint whatever picture we want about reality, because we know that becomes the limit. So why would I allow somebody else's imagination to become mine? Like, it's not the truth, it's just their way of like shaping reality. But I think, this information can be used for good or bad, right? It's like the law of gravity. The law of gravity doesn't care whether you're a good person or a bad person. It's going to work. And the same thing goes with like the law of mind, the law of assumption, the law of creation, the hermetic laws, right? All of these laws, right? It doesn't care whether you're a good or a bad person. So I think people who are just after their own profit and they're entirely into ego, the devil, as you would say, thinking they could play God better than God, came across this information and then widespread it to create this like one mentality, and not one as like union and harmony, but like one as we're all going to think the same way. And if you don't think like me, then you're outcast. And that's just like very harmful on a wide lens, because then whoever is in charge of the language has control over the reality. So if somebody is in charge of the language and they can get enough people to like believe in whatever the fuck they're saying, they have control. Oh, can I say fuck? I don't know, but they have control over reality. So it's just harmful, because if what they want, if their agenda is like they're greedy and their agenda is more profit, more and more and more, that's why the state of the world is the way it is. That's why resources seem like, it seems as if resources are not available for everybody, but like that's just cap, straight cap. That's not the truth. Um, but they're creating the limits, and we just all kind of accept it until you start to raise your level of conscious awareness, and you see and you start to remember who you were before your name, before you were given a name, before you were told, like before reality was broken down into components with you. And this is by practicing mindfulness, this is by meditating, this is by doing self-inquiry. What's self-inquiry? Self-inquiry is constantly questioning the self. So self-inquiry is you keep turning your attention back on itself. So you say, who is it that's aware? Like earlier, I was really angry. I don't even know why. I just like woke up on the wrong side of the bed, I guess. But I asked the question, who is it that's angry? Because there's like the part of me that's aware, that's forever, that was this before I was given a name and reality broken down in components. And then there's like what's appearing in reality, which is the fact that there's anger is appearing, but I'm not angry. Anger is just appearing. So like when a thought comes that says I'm angry, I say, who is it that's angry? I start to question the thought, and then the thought kind of like, the thought is like a suspect, with his arms up against the wall, with the police light in its face, and it's like, oh, you see me, you see me. That's what self inquiry does. It literally just shines a flashlight. Pretend this is a flashlight. It shines a flashlight on these ridiculous beliefs that we have, and once we can see them as just being beliefs, and then it goes away, and then another thought comes up that says, no, I'm really really angry. And then I say, who is it that's angry? And then it's like, and then it goes away, and then I just kind of like turn my attention to something else, and but then you just see the workings of it. It's like, how can that be me when the thought keeps changing? And then it's like, no, that's not me. It's just the limit. It's just language is the limit. It's the limit that's trying to like create my reality, and I won't allow it to do that. Why won't I allow it to do that? Because I choose to meditate, which means I choose to focus my attention. I choose to strengthen my attention muscle, which is why during the day I can practice mindfulness. As soon as I can be very mindful of my thoughts, I can be mindful of my environment, I can be mindful of how they're interacting, and then I keep questioning the nature of my mind. Like, who is it that's saying these things? Where did these beliefs come from? How, do these beliefs serve me? Absolutely not. Fuck these beliefs, right? But this comes with practice. I've been doing this for a while, but when you practice this, the more you practice this, you will see results, and then you can create your own limits with language. You can create your own limits with language, because then you'll go back to the pure potentiality of how reality is. And then you'll be able to imagine whatever story you want on reality. So now the tree is no longer a tree, it's whatever the hell you want it to be. Without dismissing the shared knowledge that we have. So I'm not saying go out and be a whack job and just be like, oh, this isn't a marker, this is a corn. People gonna be like, fuck is wrong with you? Like, if you want to do that for fun, do that in the space of your own home. I mean, unless you just really don't care what people think about you. But I would say that the point of like shapes and labeling and all of that is for us to have a shared knowledge. And again, nothing wrong with that. We can like meet each other right here while we're utilizing like the mind, and we haven't gone, or maybe we fail from, or we haven't risen into like being able to just communicate telepathically. This is our means of communication. So for now, use what you have. Don't try to go into like communicating telepathically and like doing all the things that we are capable of without first understanding yourself. So in order to understand yourself, you have to use the tools that you have, and the tools that you have is like what you see now. And there is a shared understanding of how things work. So you want to make sure that you are like utilizing the shared understanding. Again, don't like go to people and be like, that's not a bike, that's a table, and throw somebody's bike. I mean, I know you wouldn't do that, but I'm just saying, sh- understand that like the labels that we all come up with, yes, that is a bike. This is a plant. But is it really a bike? Is it really a plant? No, it's just energy. It's just energy in form. And we've all agreed that this is the name of it. We've all and we've studied it enough that this is its functions. And that's cool. It helps us understand reality a bit more. And it helps us to like organize all these different components of ourselves, help organize all these different components of I am. So um yeah, I don't really think I have much else. I kind of thought that Samaya was going to wake up by now, but my baby is still asleep and it is 10:10. Um, but I don't know. I just felt inspired to come on here and talk about how language is the limit. You are a powerful creator. You can create whatever you want. This reality is yours to do, be, and have whatever you desire. And if you want a little bit more um, help with reality creation in a way that is um, not so disharmonious, by believing yourself to only be the body and the mind, but by recognizing your true nature and then allowing reality to express this truth, then I am offering coaching. It should be in the description. I offer one-on-ones for 150, but I'm thinking I'm probably going to only offer longer coaching because I'm finding that in one session we literally are just scratching the surface. But if you just have like a few questions, or if you are interested in longer coaching, definitely sign up for that, and then we can talk about longer coaching. And then if you don't really understand self-inquiry, which is turning your attention back on who you truly are, I do have a guide. It's only $7. It's in the description. And I will be posting a video one day this weekend. And that's it. That's all I got. I love you guys. Bye. Oh wow, now I'm just now seeing beliefs, emotions, actions, results as a dope model for self-inquiry. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Because I couldn't see the comments because the camera was turned the other way. But thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys so much. I wish I could stay and chat, but I gotta go get the baby. All right. Bye.